Good evening, everybody. This is Chaplain Ken. Welcome back to Time with Chaplain Kenneth. I'm your host, obviously. It's good to have you with me tonight. We're still going through the 12 steps of recovery, and I'm glad that you joined me. Again, if you have any comments, please don't hesitate to send me a question. You can post a question. I'll answer it online. You can catch me on Facebook as well. I have a page there, Time with Chaplain Ken. I have a YouTube channel, this YouTube channel. And eventually I'll be branching out. I also have do these posts on LinkedIn. So if you want to get LinkedIn with me, send me a request and I'll link in with you on LinkedIn. You can see them there as well. But I'm doing this as a service for those people out there that are suffering from the disease of addiction, that are struggling with what to do next and not knowing what to do next. We've already gone over steps 1 and 2, and tonight we're going to be looking at step 3. Step 3 reads that we made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we come to understand Him. That's what step 3 is all about. But before we get into step 3 too far, I want to ask you the question like I did the other 2 times. Are you still powerless? Have you made your decision today to start your day by saying, I'm powerless? Because if you have, then good for you. And that means that you have a modicum of hope and a little bit of faith that you're practicing to say, you know what, I am powerless against this thing. I need to turn to my higher power and start working my spiritual program so that I can find recovery and stay recovered. Because I will always be struggling against myself. All right? So when we're in addiction, we are always struggling with our own natures to want to go back to what it used to be comfortable and normal. And now recovery may seem for a lot of us, and for you, it may seem it may be uncomfortable. It's weird, different. It's too peaceful. It's too calm. And depending on your drug of choice, you can that may be true. For instance, I've known in the meth world that chaos and drama, and even with the crack addicts, it's drama, chaos all the time, and even sometimes with alcoholics. But drama always seems to be a part of the cycle of the addiction. It uses drama very well to stay alive. And so a little bit of peace and calm may seem out of sorts for you. If you have been experiencing some peace and some calm, relax. It's okay. You're supposed to. That's the normal feeling. All right? So the other feelings that you've had all along, all the way your life has been, that is not normal, okay? That's been rather treacherous for you. You can only do that so much, and your family can only take so much of that as well, because to be honest with you, we drag a lot of our families into this mess, don't we? So everybody may be feeling a little bit of peace, and even if you don't have the addiction, let me talk to the family member. If you're the family member and all of a sudden it's calm, you're not getting phone calls, you're not getting played, you're not missing stuff out of the house, you're not wondering where the TV went, that's okay. You may be getting back to normal, because you too may have been taught how to stay in that place of chaos as well. So if you're feeling that peace and comfort from steps 1 and 2, then good. Stay there. It gets better. It gets a whole lot better. Going to do a lot for your health too, trust me. So knowing that you're still powerless, good, because you've made that choice. Number 2, do you still believe? Do you still believe that there is a power greater than you that can help you? Good, because now you have the emergence of faith and hope, remember? All right, so here comes step 3. Step 3 is a decision time. Step 3 is the time where we have to surrender to a power greater than us. Now let me be honest with you, not all of us like to surrender. We bristle at the idea of giving up and giving in and giving somebody else control over our lives, and somebody else dictating to us how things are supposed to go. We don't like that. We don't like to be told that. That macho thing that comes up in guys, we don't like to be told that you don't have what it takes. But if we've come to that place, all right, rest assured, you're going to be okay. Trust the process, they say. Go with it. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens when we surrender. Let me challenge you. If you're still struggling with that concept of surrender and bristling at it, here's some food for thought. You have already surrendered your life and will to the care of your addiction, haven't you? It is amazing to me that guys with such intellect, with such skill in their lives, that have so much smarts can be ruled by something as cheap as liquor in a bottle. Yeah, because at times it gets to the rot gut stuff after a while. You may start off expensive, but trust me, you'll end up with the bathtub gin pretty quick, because you know what? It does the same thing anyway. And so you'll be surprised how cheap this stuff can get, and how little it takes to control you. It's run your life, hasn't it? You used to wake up in the morning and all of a sudden you would think, okay, where's my drink? You'd have it right there next to your bed, didn't you? Or your phone was there to make it your connection with your guy, so you can go to the spot. Yep. Or you'd sit at a house and you would sit for hours waiting your turn, be an inconvenience to your turn at the pipe. It's amazing how that little bitty thing, the little substance in that little bitty pipe, can run your life. How much it's overtaken your life. What it's done to you and your family. It's a bit incredible. When you have a moment of clarity, sit back and think about it. It's not doing you any favors. So alcohol, the drugs, you hoped that they would help you. You had faith that it would get you to that place. You gave up jobs, family, and friends. You gave up your health. Some of us even gave up our freedoms. We ended up in prison or jail. We gave up our dignity. We gave up that thing that was precious in us, that defined us at one time. It defined us at one time. We felt good about ourselves at one time, and all of a sudden it's gone, because now we're doing stuff we never thought we would end up doing, just for another drink. And yeah, so you know what it means to surrender already. The third step challenges you to surrender your life and will to the care of God as we come to understand Him. To the care of God as you've come to understand who He is. To understand that there is a power greater than you that wants to take care of you and help you and assist you through this step. It's important. And this one wants to help, doesn't want to destroy your world. It wants to help you, to get you in that place where you long to be. Coming to AA is a form of surrender. If the God thing's too hard for you right now, if you're coming to meetings and you're talking to a sponsor and you're asking them questions and you're reading the literature, you're surrendering. That each one of those things is a surrender. Just like the third step, you don't have to get, or the second step, you don't have to get it all immediately right now. Just start the process and trust the process, that as it grows, as your surrender deepens to God, then it begins to grow into a relationship with Him. And all of a sudden things start working that you never thought possible. So if you're trying the steps, you're talking to a sponsor and you realize you don't have what it takes, this is the beginning of this work in step 3. This is why it's good to review step 1 in the mornings. Actually steps 1, 2, and 3, and I'll explain that at the end. But review those steps, remind yourself you're powerless. Look at that list of all the consequences that you've suffered and see, just how bad things have gotten. And tell yourself, this list of consequences that I've suffered, and I want you to write, I want you to write this list, and I want you to be real. Okay, get as ugly as you need to be. Don't sugarcoat it. Put it out there and show yourself exactly what you've been doing in your life. And then tell yourself, you can even write at the top of the page, my life under my control. Boom, there's your consequences. Because that's what it looks like when you are in control. The third step helps you to realize that there is a power greater than you that can restore you, that can run and help your life better than you can. I know maybe a hard pill to swallow for now. Some of us are probably going, what the heck's that guy talking about? Trust me. We have not been doing too hot in our addiction. When we are self-centered and our mind is on whatever we want, what we want, when we want it, it doesn't look pretty, does it? Yeah. We can do all sorts of things to try to remind us. Take a really good close look in the mirror at what you used to look like and what you look like now. Physically, we've changed over the years. And this thing has taken a toll on us. So this is the end, okay? This recovery thing is the end, to saying, I'm done with that kind of world. So start your day off and deepen your surrender. Each day you make that decision to turn your life and will over to the care of God as you've understood Him. All right? So what do we turn over? We turn over our self-will. We turn over our egos. We turn over whatever we think we can't live without. Because chances are your addiction has already keyed in on everything about you and is using it and twisted it against you to keep you just sick enough to go back out and use one more time, thinking it's going to be different this time. And I know the struggle sometimes when we're thinking of surrender is we're thinking probably that we're going to lose something of ourselves in the exchange. And that's a valid I've heard that one quite a bit. Well, then I'm just going to lose all of who I am. No, not necessarily. Just the bad parts. You're just going to lose the addiction. You're going to lose the self-centeredness. You're going to lose the idea that you had things under control. Once you get rid of all of that, the real you is going to emerge. See, the real you has been suppressed by your ego, by your own concept of life, your own schema in your head that you got, that you've been living your life off of, your own way you've been looking at life and going through the world. All of that has been holding the real you back. What emerges is that part of you that has been hidden for such a long time. The kinder you, the more gentle you, the understanding you, the more patient person, the one who can forgive, the one who has grace because he's been given grace or you've been given grace, the one who can forgive, the one who can practice all of these spiritual things that are good for you but couldn't because you were too drunk or high. That person needs to come out more and more. And as you see that, guess what happens to your relationships? Change completely. What happens to your relationship with your wife when you display those things? Or your husband? Completely different. They'll look at you like, who is this person and what have you done with my wife? Or the kids will say that. Who are you and where is my dad? Because you've changed, because you'll change. And so the good positive changes that'll come into your world as you do 1, 2, and 3, your family's been longing for, your mom and dad have been praying for, your friends have been hoping and wondering where in the world is Ken gone, you know, because they missed that guy, or Christine, or whoever, whatever your name is. Where has that person been? They've missed you, and when they see that coming back out, they're going to say, wow, there is a God. So the changes that happen to you can affect somebody else that's going through their trauma and their addiction, and it'll also be a blessing to your family for a change. And you'll feel a lot better too, because you'll wake up and you'll be able to sleep through the night and you'll feel good in the morning. So thankful that you're not hungover. So thankful that your bank account still has money in it. So thankful that you put new tires on the car instead of spending it on something else. That your car has a registration now on it and it's current. Those good things, you'll experience all of those good things and those positive things that you've been missing. So you're wondering if you're going to lose yourself. You'll lose the bad parts. Part of you may be saying, oh, I can't give it up. I can't give up all of who I am. You're not going to give up all of who you are. You're just giving up the bad parts, the sick parts that your disease is using against you. It's been nurturing all of that junk. It's kept it alive. It's pulled you and strung you along for such a long time that, once that's gone and you've worked through all that junk, the good part, the healthy part begins to emerge. So you lose nothing in the trade-off. And if you're worried about losing something and you're worried about giving up control of your life, ask yourself the question. You've already done step 1, right? You've got your list. Look at it again and remember, this is you under your control. How well have you been doing? How's that been working out for you? Honestly, answer the question. It hasn't. So the opportunity now is to give God a try. Give your higher power a try. Give AA a try. Give NA a try. Give the steps a try. Talk to your sponsor. Go to meetings and see what that does. Give it a try. Because everything else hasn't worked. You got nothing to lose and everything to gain. Except the bad stuff. You can lose that stuff. So let me suggest some things when you're looking at step 3. Is that you deepen your surrender and you practice surrendering more and more each day. If it's still a new and different concept for you, surrendering is, then surrender something small, something simple. Start small, little baby steps. Yeah, something little, and just put God to the test and see, okay, Lord, I'm new at this. can you help me with this? You know, when I was working in drug treatment, we had this thing in the chapel. It was called the God Box. Some of you guys know what I'm talking about. A box that had a lid. It was locked. Chaplains had the lock to it. There was a slit at the top, and we had some paper, a stack paper on the side, little bitty things, and they would write their prayer requests, and we'd teach people, okay, this is how you can surrender. I want you to go in the God box at night, every night, surrender something to God, some problem, some hang up, some dilemma you're facing that you have no answer for. Write it on that piece of paper, put it in that box, and say, okay, God, this is yours. And then walk away and see what happens. This is your way of surrendering and letting it go. So they try it. You wouldn't believe the amount of people would come to me. What's up with the box, man? What do you guys do with the box? It's a magical box. No, there's nothing magical about the box. What's magical is that you're willing to surrender something and get out of God's way. Leave it in the box and walk away. And I tell them, if you walk away and you start thinking about it and you're thinking about it and you realize, oh man, I'm still thinking about this, go back to the box. Because what happened mentally and spiritually, you might have put a piece of paper in there, but then you inside here, you never let it go. Let it go, write it down, put it in there until you can really walk away from it and say, okay, I'm going to forget about this. God, it's on you. The miracles that came out of that practice and that idea were just astounding. And these are from people who never, ever darkened the doors of a church. But they were willing to try something new. They were willing to try God out. They were willing to taste and see that the Lord really can do for you what you cannot do for yourself. And if you just practice it and try it more and more and more, it deepens into something that is so powerful in your life. I'll share something honest. And when I was going through a hard time in my life, the money was running out. The food was running out of the pantry. I was hardly making any money. This was before I became a chaplain in drug treatment. And yeah, I said, one day after the end of school, I was going through CPE school. I had sent out resumes. You know, you do that when you're finishing school. You send out your resumes. You're online. You're applying. You're filling out, yeah, all these applications, and nothing. Chaplain jobs are hard to come by. So it's the last day of school, right? And the last day of school, I was getting a stipend for being there because I was a resident chaplain. And I was driving home, and I was coming home from Bonham. And I looked up at the sky and I said, okay, Lord, I got nothing. I had no more job after that. I was driving home with one paycheck due me from the VA. I was at the VA residency school there. Coming home, driving home, and Tyrena, yeah, Tyrena knows this story. I came home and, well, I hadn't even gotten home. I got a call from somebody at the drug treatment facility, and they asked me if I wanted to work for them. And I said, absolutely. But I had to get out of God's way. I had to completely surrender. And you know, when I learned that, when I learned to say, I don't have what it takes, it's on you, Lord. You promised me you'd care for me. He did. He came through. The guy asked me when I wanted to work, and I said, tomorrow. I didn't want to skip a beat. Give me that job now. And he goes, no, let's wait another week and a half, because they were within the billing cycle. And I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. So got home, I was excited. My son was excited. I was happy. Yeah, so that's when I started working drug treatment. And the miracle of getting out of God's way allows him to really, really get active in your life. If you don't surrender, he's not going to push himself on you. If you don't get out of his way, he's not going to push himself into your way and say, get your hands off of that, let me take care of it. He didn't do it to Adam and Eve. He ain't going to do it to me. You know, when they ate the fruit of the tree? He could have slapped their hand and said, I told you not to touch that. He could have done that, but he doesn't. God doesn't do that. He loves us too much. And he gives us enough freedom, because he loves us, to be able to choose for ourselves, so that we can choose to love him. That makes it special. If you're made to love somebody, it's not special. But if you love them by choice, that's a wonderful thing. So when we learn to surrender and get out of his way, he then can intervene. We give him the permission to come into our world. He is waiting with anticipation for you to do the same. And the third step gives you the opportunity to do that, to test and see, if this thing is real. The literature says, we got to come to that point where we believe that God is God, and let Him do for us what we can't do for ourselves, and get out of His way. When we do that, I promise you the miracles will begin to happen in your life. Yep. Will begin to happen in your life. I was making $23,000 a year before that. And I had a house payment, $900 house payment, 900 and some change, all the bills. Rough time in my life. It was my son and me. You do the math. It doesn't happen. It ain't gonna happen. So I look at that. So I look at all my bills. I look at my paycheck, and I'm like, "There's no way. I don't know how to do this. There's no way. I don't have enough." So I said, "God, you gotta help me. I don't know how to do this." He gave me the wisdom little by little. Here's an idea. Here's an idea. Here, try this. Try that. Never missed a payment. Never missed a bill, and even paid my tithe. And that was the first check I ever wrote, was my tithe, because I wanted to stay faithful. God blessed, because I got out of His way. I gave Him the opportunity to respond, and He is so much dying to get involved in your world. So the third step is where you get to unleash the power of the universe in your life. All right? The world, the creator of everything that you see now wants to be responsive to you and to your needs. And this is where the rubber meets the road. This is where He really can get involved in your life, and you begin to see results, and you believe in the miracles. So remember, He's better at running your world than you are. So put your will into His hands, and ask for His will to be put into your heart. Swap the two around. Our power to choose was given to us long ago, but we've kind of corrupted it from the Garden of Eden on, and the addiction did a number on it anyway. So our willpower is not where it comes. It's not where we get the strength to get recovery. Our wills are broken. Our wills have been stained, have been weakened, have been corrupted, not only from sin, but by the addiction. And you know what I'm talking about. Willpower is like nothing, man. There's nothing. It's nothing to it. That addiction would dangle in front of us, and we were like little puppies. But no longer, because now you have the opportunity to give your will to God. Say, God, take my will, it's broken. Please give me yours. Give me your ideas, your thoughts. Give me your mind. Give me your heart, so that I can have the strength in order to make the right choices from this point forward. You do that every day, and I promise you, you're going to get stronger and stronger. Your not dependence, but your surrender will be deeper and deeper as you do that. And then the relationship begins to really, really blossom. And you, the real you, that faithful you that begins to see these miracles, you will come to believe in a way you never thought before. So do your steps 1, 2, and 3 daily. Make them a prayer. I used to tell people, make them a prayer. Lord, I am powerless. This addiction's got me by the neck. I know you are much more powerful than my addiction to me. And today I want to give my life to you. And I want to pray that you keep me sober, keep me faithful, and keep me aware of your presence all day long. Do that every day. Make that a surrender prayer for you every single day. And see what happens. See what begins to happen in your life. It begins to change, I promise you. I promise you. Because God is not going to ignore that kind of prayer. When you get out of His way and you put your hands up and you come to Him like this, that's the perfect way to pray. When you're at the end of your rope, it's okay. Don't be afraid. Because He's got you. Every moment of my life when I'm at the end of the rope and I'm just about to let go, He's there. He grabs me. So now I anticipate it. Now when I get to a rough spot, I'm like, it's okay, honey. I tell my wife, it's okay, honey. We'll be all right. God's about to do something. And I sit back, and she's learned to sit back and watch. And when He does, it's a glorious thing. So I hope and pray that happens to you. And it can if you surrender and watch the miracles in your life take place. Because that's what we want. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for that miracle. We're looking for that God on our side, and we're looking for that peace that comes with it, and victory over this sickness called addiction. Because you deserve better. God really believes you deserve better, and He's willing. He's waiting for you to respond. Okay? Alrighty, well, that's all I got. That's the third step. The next step we're going to talk about is the fourth, and that's this is the one where a lot of people falter, but you shouldn't. and we'll explain it. Very simple step. It sounds harder than it is, but man, I tell you what, once you do a good fourth step moral inventory, you're gonna feel great. You really are. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Don't forget, if you like these videos, please like, subscribe, share with your friends. Copy and paste, use them any way you want. If you want to use them in your facility, if you want to use them in a group somewhere, in your meetings. Tyrene, if you want to use them in your group, yeah, feel free. Feel free to pirate these things away. Because I'm not going to be hurt. This is all, I'm doing all of this for you guys. And for me, because in doing this, there's a blessing for me to share with you. Alrighty, well, God bless you. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next Friday. Bye-bye.